It's takeover time. Let's go. What's up, guys? MtgJedi here. Still a little bit scratchy on the voice. We have a new friend, Dust Lover, and he is now a proud member of my clan. Wait, he didn't join yet. He will be joining my clan, I believe. But either way, super excited to be working on his account today. He is level 100, and he is going to be getting some arena work done. A lot of times on the channel, we do not really discuss arena offense and defense. Most of the time, your defense for arena is not going to be that important. You know, you can easily just come in here with, you know, a sweet one-person defense and let people beat you up, and then you fall down, and then you climb back up and use all of that process to build your Great Hall. So before we move on, let's talk about that. Seems like he's doing pretty decent on his Great Hall here. I would love to see these filled in at blue before we continue to move on making things gold, but that's good progress, okay? So the reason why we don't often talk about arena defense is because we're just trying to grind the Great Hall and get those medals up. But if you are looking to try to sneak into Platinum, or if you just want to rank up in 3v3, which that's his goal here, you're going to want some good defensive teams, okay? And some of his teams are already strong, okay? Like the Sifi Rotos team, very good, very classic. Maybe you can slot in Ultimate Death Knight instead of Kymar. That might be pretty nice. Give you some more damage, you know, and still have a speed aura. Something like that. There's a lot of possibilities, but this is a very, very classic team here for, you know, that's powerful in the game. If you have these champions, you should run this team. All right, so what we want to do first is take a look at the roster, and then we're going to figure out what team I'm going to build and what team I'm going to gear for offense and defense. You know me, I'm leaning towards my dude Terrace, okay? Because he is a absolute beast. He is an absolute beast. So if I was going to build an arena defense, I mean, Terrace is definitely going to scare some people. If we take a look at the rest of the roster, another scary champion for a lot of people to fight against is, let me see if I can scroll up here so you can actually see him, Cardial, and he happens to pair very well with Terrace. Then we could maybe build his Duchess. We'll take a look there. He's got her in Stone Skin already. That would be a really strong component of an arena defense. Pythion in there as well. That seems shockingly difficult to beat. But we could put a lot of different champions in there. We could put Sifi and Rotos, and then Duchess and Terrace. You know, that's a very strong arena defense as well. So we have definitely a lot of options to play with on this account. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the 3v3 screen, and I'm going to lay out what I would do if this were my account for 3v3 team. And then after that, once I've accomplished that goal, then I can decide how I want to arrange the defenses and decide what team I want to build. It is always good to have an Arbiter team, but he has a Sifi team as well. So first things first, let's figure out who the fastest champion is on the account. So Sifi is 315. That could be it. And then let's find the Arbiter. Guessing it's the Arbiter? 327, but pretty similar. Do we have fully ascended boots? This is what I like to see, okay? So step one, I'm going to see if we have the fastest gear on the account on, you know, the right champions. And then we're going to take a look and see, can we make anybody faster? We're going to lay out those 3v3 teams, like I said, and we're going to have a discussion about how to do all of that. So let me do a little bit of stuff behind the scenes here, and I'll come back at you in a second. All right, so the one of the first things I wanted to look at here was how many ascended speed boots do we have? So Krisk does not need to be the fastest one in your teams for Hydra. In fact, usually he wants to be the slowest one. Like around 240 speed is great. We have Coldheart up in here with some speed boots. We have the nice regen ones. We have these shield set ones. And then we have a bunch of different perception boots. So we're going to need to move those around, I think, for sure. Cardial also has ascended boots, but they're attack percentage. I wanted to come in and I wanted to see how fast Cardial was because it seemed like he had some of the best gear on the account as well. 293 speed is amazing for Cardial, but then when you think about the speed on Arbiter and Sifi, it's just like, well, that doesn't really make sense. We need to basically, the reason why this account is struggling, I think, is because all of the little pieces of really good gear are spread out around the account. And let me set up some other filters to show you that as well. All right, so one of the things that I think is really valuable is from time to time taking a look at your non-boots, because boots are going to have the most speed. But what has the most speed on your account? And if you scroll down to the Hide Set Filters button, you can see in order what is your fastest gear. Now, this is actually the best piece on the account, I think. We have a 28 and a 28. And I think those would pair really well together in the same build. We also have this absurd stun set with 2 triple speed rolls. But then also we have like this curse stuff. The 2 regen pieces should definitely be in together. We definitely need to get these sets combined together. The boots that have the speed with the regen and the helmet with the regen, get those all in the same build. So let's go ahead and take a look. What would be our fastest build? And I think that we want that to be on Sifi. All right, so a little bit of change of plans here. I think that we can put Sifi in a protection set and get her at least as fast as she is. So I decided to go with the fastest set on the Arbiter for this account. It has plays a little bit more into the accuracy roll. I got a reaction ring on here in case we happen to go second. I don't think we have any other reaction accessories, so that's not an option. Usually it's just rings. And then I put the 2 quad speed, well, the quad speed and the 2 quad speed pieces on her as well. And then we have still room for glyphs on here to improve this even more. Get up into 350s, 360s with some 6-star glyphs. So that's going to be the Arbiter build. And then the other thing we want to make sure with the Arbiter build is that she has this Lore of Steel. Perfect. And then the masteries look great as well. Now we've consolidated the good gear onto one champion, and we can work on this Arbiter team for him. Now, I want to mention the Sifi build as well because a lot of people should be doing this. Step 1, you want to just check and see what accessories do you have. We have a protection, and we have an accuracy, and also protection, okay? What I'm looking for, though, is this right here, this amulet and or a ring. The banner, I feel like it's tough. Wait, is this also? Whoa, okay, hold the phone. We have 3 protection accessories for Sifi. That's insane, guys. That's actual insane. So, what I think that we need to do is we need to rework this piece and hope that it just hits anything with speed. Your mythical, this is exactly what you're using your mythical chaos, or that's 5-star for, would be these accessories for protection or stone skin. I would highly recommend that. Okay, accuracy again is subpar. Okay, well, it stayed about the same. So let's go ahead and just rank it up. This is not going to be very helpful. That might make this not the best. So let's see what we can do in protection. All right, so some things, right? I still think this is a very viable option. Clearly, we have an amazing champion here that we would be stealing from. What are our it's just like we don't have a lot of speed rolls. We only have one 5-star pair of boots. There's no speed on this. However, what we can do is sneak in a 4-set piece with one accessory. So that is an option as well. So probably this one, because this ring is actually reasonable. So we would take off this for sure, and this for sure. And then think about that in the future, because a 9-piece protection set is definitely legit. So let me go get a build figured out and see if we can make that protection set work. Oh man, streamer luck sometimes is literally the best. So I was like, do we have a nice resistance banner for Sifi? Of course she has one on, but then I see this one. I don't even pause. Straight to 16, immediate triple roll, go glyph it right away. 3 in here, put the big boy glyphs on, 7 and 7. I mean, we might as well ascend it as well and hit resistance again. Oh, jeez. I mean, can you get any more lucky than that? Literally, can you get any more lucky than that? Post your comments below. And this is going to be a sweet Sifi build. And then over here, we have room for glyphs as well, guys. We have room for glyphs. This isn't even a great piece, right? It just has resistance and 1 speed roll. So there's room to grow this build. Yeah, we have accuracy here that we don't necessarily need. I'm not done tweaking this build, but yeah, this is very nice. Okay, I'm not gonna come in here and savagely brag too much on the streamer luck, but come on, right? We maxed out on almost all 3 glyphs on the Sifi. It doesn't get any better than this. Okay, I lied. First glyph on the boots, max 6-star glyph. What is going on right now? Okay, on here I found an unglyphed triple speed roll. Or yeah, because it's because that's the mythical stat. Triple speed roll hiding on Cardial. So I think if we switch the helmet and then the gloves with protection, I think we can get even faster here. We have HP percent gloves. Look at this swap. So that is going to get us up to 345. Then if I go glyph the resistance, and we have room for glyphs on speed here, oh boy, this is banging. Oh my goodness. Now, we are out of speed glyphs. I used all of them successfully, and I think rightly so. Another 6-star max speed glyph live for your viewing pleasure. Takeovers can be booked at MtgJedi.com. So 345, 463 speed resistance is perfect for Hydra and stuff like that and PvE content. Sure, it's not going to be great in arena, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. And also, we're going to be in a 6-piece, or 5-piece, excuse me, 5-piece protection set. So we're going to get those buffs being protected as well. Her defensive stats are all right. Man, this is looking good. I don't think I ever laid out the 3v3 teams, but now that I have some more information about the account and I've done a few builds, I know exactly what we're going to do. Okay, I think that this is the 3v3 setup I would go with, but I'm not 100% sure. I found a sneaky warlord hiding down there at level 53. He's going to make this team ridiculous. That makes having Kymar in here perfect. We'll see who I end up gearing for the 2 teams. But then with the Arbiter team, I think that I'm going to go with the Kymar number 2. And Ultimate Death Knight in here to protect Georgid, who is absolutely ridiculous. We don't really have another way to protect him, and then Kymar will be able to reset that again, so we're going to have 2 reset teams. We have our base, which she's absurd, by the way. I think she will pair really well in this Duchess team, but then I'm uncertain of who to put in this 4th spot. Like, that could easily be the Cardial, which I think would be good. That would be the Stultus. You could put Torment in there, which would be... okay, we have to do the Torment in there, I think. But either way, I don't know that I'm building that team out for offense. I will probably be building something for defense. But this is the layout of the teams that I think that I would be doing. So many strong champions on the account. We should definitely be able to get to gold on here. So I'm going to get to building. I am building this Arbiter team here. So I'm going to go tweak all of that, get Georgid smacking, make sure the Ultimate Death Knight build is good, and gear Kymar number 2. And then we'll get a defense build as well. So let me get all of that set up for you, and then we'll come back with all of the builds. Okay, wow, these teams are sweet. I just threw some gear on, made sure everybody had gear, and I geared the champions who I needed to gear. I ended up gearing Kymar Siphi, Warlord Rhodos. I didn't gear the Wukong. He was great. I geared the Duchess. I threw gear on our base, but I wouldn't say that like I put a lot of effort into that. That wasn't a part of the build, but she's sweet. I think I would put her in Bolster, if that was an option, instead of Protection like he had her in. I geared Terrace. I geared Arbiter. Maybe you can't see behind me here, but, oh, Lysandra is still there. Ultimate Death Knight was great, and I geared Georgid as well. So, this is the team setup for him. And let's go ahead and take a look at the builds. And then let's, oh wait, before I forget, the arena defense that I set was Duchess Siphi Rhodos Terrace, and that is terrifying, okay? Nobody wants to go up against that. You could also put, instead of Rhodos or Terrace, put Warlord in there. That would be gross. You could put Cardial in place of Duchess if you wanted to. There's a lot of adjustments that you could make in this team. Or if you were using this setup for a 3v3 defense to level up, then maybe you wouldn't want to put the Siphi Rhodos with the Duchess Terrace, etc. But nevertheless, that's what we did. Okay, so let's go look at the builds and see what I came up with, okay? So, I believe you saw the Siphi build in the 5-piece protection. That's amazing. Please do that on your account. 345, 463 resistance, some defensive stats, pause if needed. Let's follow that up with Rhodos. I made some minor adjustments here to the build, but for the most part, it's the same. You want to get his HP and his attack up as high as possible, as well as his crit damage. So this ended up being a pretty solid build. This was his Wukong build, but I'll show it to you either way. I think we could use some more crit damage, but guys, Wukong, crazy multipliers. You should probably be using him on your account. The Terrace, I ended up in a 2-piece, what is this? 2-piece immunity, actually, for the best stats. And that was 95k HP, very important. 263 crit damage. And then the Georgid, we got in Savage and Cruel, which is absolutely amazing. 6,300 attack, 261 crit damage. The Cruel obviously mainly helps with the attack stat, but also helpful for the other abilities. The Ultimate Death Knight was already in 6-piece Stone Skin, as slow as possible. I do like him to have some resistance, but, you know, I didn't mess with this build. The Duchess, I changed from Immortal and Stone Skin just to Speed and Stone Skin for better stats. We were able to keep the same level of speed, but also add a PvE amount of resistance. And if people are like, you know, just like throwing a little bit of resistance on, it won't, you know, it'll help there as well. The Arbiter, I believe you saw this build with the 2 quad speed rolls. That got us to 347. We still got some accuracy and a little bit of defensive stats as well. And then this Kymar is not the Kymar. This is his Warlord. We went with 2 offset pieces for stats as well. We got 282 speed, very respectable. 527 accuracy. Let me just go ahead and show the Lysandra. It's no big deal, just speed and accuracy. Let me go ahead and show the our base. Again, no big deal. Really nothing important about this build. Like, you could change this to whatever. Protection is nice, but again, I would try to do bolster. And then, where's the Kymar that I geared? There's 2 different Kymars. We need to mark them as 1 and 2. Because otherwise, this is the slow one for Phantom Shogun's Grove. The fast one here was already in immunity, so I just made him have a bit more accuracy to be reasonable. But I think that the immunity is not necessary, but since it was already there, it was nice to have, so I just went ahead and left it. We could add 200 more accuracy very easily if we put, 2 more protection sets, or 2 more perception sets, excuse me. But either way, those are the teams. What do you think of this team setup? Is there a different build that you would have gone for the 3v3 teams? Please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.